What is up, you guys? Sam here. Today, I'm going to teach you how you can become an expert on reading candlesticks in order to confirm your trades and maximize your profits in the stock market. Now, I bet all of you have seen these candlestick patterns, and if you haven't, doesn't matter. So, a lot of people think you need to memorize these, and I completely disagree. I think that if you memorize them, you're too focused on these exact patterns, and you just need to understand what the wick and what the body means on a specific candle. So as you can see, the hammer, now the hammer comes in different forms. It's not always going to look exactly like this. The body's never going to look exactly this big with the wick this big, which is another reason why you shouldn't memorize these like super hard, because then you're only going to be looking for a hammer that looks just like that. So all you need to know is the wick is extremely large and it's way below the candle, and the candle is still green. What this means is that sellers tried really hard to push the candle down, or push the price of that stock down, and they actually lost. And buyers actually won and pushed the price of the stock up, even though sellers were trying super hard. And the inverted hammer is the opposite. Now buyers were trying really hard to push the price up, yet they lost most of their momentum, but the momentum is still there. Now, different candles have different strengths. Now, as you can see, the strength of a candle is basically completely determined on the size of the candle. So on the chart right here, you can see this red candle right here, way stronger than this green candle. And the whole reason is the movement of the stock price was way larger on the red than the green, meaning that sellers were way more in control on that big candle than the green candle. And you need to know this when you're going into your trades, because you need to know how strong the sellers are or how strong the buyers are. So just going over some of these, pretty general, basic, what is the word? Intuition to know what these mean. Now, 3 stars in the south, it's strong buyer control, seller control is weakening, and seller control is weakening even more. Now, if you were to see green, this would be a great confirmation to go up, because it signals that sellers are dying. And same with buyers. Don't enter on a doji, because dojis don't signify anything. They just signal that the market hasn't moved and it's likely to continue in either direction. So there's not really any good confirmation there. And these are good for continuation. Seeing this is what I like to play, and these are good for reversals. Now, also don't really need to know that these can be used for continuation as well as any, because a reversal could be, reverse back and then a continuation. So you can see, a hammer on a reversal to a continuation. So it's best not to memorize these. You can memorize these if you want. They probably will help you if you memorize them. But all you need to know is how to read candlesticks. Now let's go over the chart. So let's go back on this day, and let's just look at some candlesticks, right? So we got this big candlestick on the open. Now, what does this tell me? Okay, the body is massive. The majority of the candlestick is the body, and the wicks are tiny on the top and tiny on the bottom. Now, this tells me that the buyers tried to push it up, but they lost terribly. And sellers brought it all the way down, and pretty much buyers or sellers are completely in control in that candle. Next candle, same thing, but it's not as strong as the first one. So the pressure at which the sellers are in control by is weakening. The next candle, they try to push it down even more, but now buyers are coming into the market. So now we can start to see sort of a slowdown on that seller momentum. Next candle, still pretty large, pretty large, pretty large. Now we see a green candle. Now this green candle, if you notice, the wick is pretty much the same size as the body, which means that buyers tried to push it up much more than it is right now, and they tried to push it up, and sellers brought it back down, but buyers still won. And in this specific on this specific day, what you'd be looking for is a reversal to a specific point. Now, I marked out the high of the previous day, which is a great level to use, and you mark that out and you wait until it retraces there, and it actually hit that price perfectly. And then you can see this candle. Now, what does this candle tell you? It tells you that, buyers tried, they got it up, but they lost pretty bad. Sellers are in control. Next candle, pretty good fight. Buyers and sellers both tried really hard. Buyers actually won. So then you would be like, okay, it's looking decent for puts, but buyers still seem like they have some sort of control. I want to wait till buyers are completely out of the market. Now the next candle we look at. Now ideally you want to wait for the close of the candle, but if it's a big candle like this, you might enter on 10 seconds before close and catch more profits. But this candle obviously shows that sellers are deep in control, and there's no question about it. So if this was, if on this day, I would probably short with a stop. This is a massive candle. This one 3-minute candle was $1.50. So this would have been a little bit hard to set your stop loss because you would have to set it pretty high if you wanted to close above that candle, but I would probably set it above this low or above this candle if I wanted to swing it and just take your profit. And obviously the sellers continue to stay in control. $5 down that day, which we would have caught. Now, let's go on this day and a little more live action just for you guys. I looked at this day before. This is not me trading randomly. I know what happens. Just for the time's sake. So basically, we're going down. It breaks below this low. Now we're looking for puts, right? We're looking for puts, and these two candles, you want to always think, what is going on in the market right now? What is buyers and what is sellers? What is their momentum in the market? Now, as you can see here, buyers are trying. They're trying really hard. Both these candles, actually. The wicks are pretty big. So as you can see, buyers are trying really hard, but they're losing both times. They lost on this 3-minute candle, and it is going down, and they lost on this 3-minute candle even pretty much the same, but the body's less. So actually, the seller is still in control, even when it went below the low of the day. So now we're just waiting. Okay, now this is looking good. Now it signals that sellers tried really hard, and sellers have control. They have control, but buyers fought back. They fought back. They brought it back up to this. So still bearish. Now this would be a great entry. We've got 3 candles signaling that we're still in bearish control with a retracement back to this level. Now, the levels, ideally, high of day, low of day, best levels to use by far. Other levels you can use are, previous days. Now, you also notice that the price broke below this, so grab that liquidity. So, ideally, if this were to head back up, it would have moved up a lot more than that because all these orders that all these people longed right here, they would all have stop losses here. It would have been taken out and it would have shot up, but right here it didn't. So let's see what happens. Okay, it actually did shoot up, and so basically this candle went up, and as you can see, buyers actually, this liquidity did cause it to go up. I guess I didn't look at this day good enough. So this buyers took control on this candle, but sellers quickly brought them back to this price, which signals that buyers they do have some control in the market now. Now, you could take that from liquidity of yesterday. That's what I would classify that from. So I would still expect to move down just based on this candle, because if that liquidity caused the market to actually, turn into an uptrend, this would have been a pretty big candle, and it would have continued going up. Next candle, and now it's red, and now you can enter into puts. Your stop loss above this candle, and yeah, pretty much like that. You just need to know how to read these candles and understand. And as you can see right here, if I were in this trade, this would have been a bad signal for me. Well, actually not really, because it's very small, so price barely moved. But this right here would have been a these 3 candles right here, because it went down, and then you can see buyers took control, right? They took control, but they lost. But the next candle, they did take control, which shows that sellers lost control. Because sellers were in control, they tried hard, and they lost. So the sellers are weakening, buyers are coming back, and now sellers are pretty much out of the market because this candle is massive. Not massive, but compared to the previous one, the wick is tiny, and the candle is much bigger than the wick. And what that shows you is that buyers pushed it up to here, and sellers, all they could do is bring it. That's all they did. They just brought it back to there. That's it. And that just shows you how strong the buyers are in this specific candle. And once again, these candles are not good to use alone. If you just go off a doji alone, let me try to find one. If you like try to go off of this, oh, buyers are control. No, they're not. Okay, you need to use other factors. This is just a great tool to confirm your trades if you're looking for continuations on a break of high of day or low of day or break of the trend, or if it works with your strategy and it broke above the EMA or the VWAP or any of those indicators that you use, and you see one of these bullish or bearish candles, that would be your entry point, because then it shows you that in that specific moment buyers are in control. Because a lot of times in a downtrend, buyers will take control for a second but get overwhelmed quickly by the sellers. So you always need to know that the wick, what the wick and the body mean, and if you know this, you can confirm your trades much better. And let me just go through one day real quick, since this video is pretty short so far. It's only 10 minutes. So I'm going to go through this day and just kind of explain to you what these candles mean. Now, this candle doesn't really mean that much to me. Sellers brought it down to here, buyers brought it up to here, but buyers still won. Yet, so this just shows me the buyers are more in control because they had a stronger push up and they still won. And showing from the next candle, buyers are trying really hard to get it up, but sellers are fighting. So this is kind of like I wouldn't really enter just because neither of them are completely in control. And a doji right here, we got another doji, so it's looking pretty ugly. Now we looking pretty bearish, right? They pushed it down, but buyers took it back up. Okay, now we're looking bullish. Now this could be an entry point because the body broke above these candle closes. So this could be an entry point. And if you look on the one, it just broke above the high of the day. So this would be a great entry. And because it broke above the high of the day. Ideally, you want to wait for a retest, but in this case, since it's so early in the day, a lot of times the momentum in the market on an early day is strong enough to make a massive move that you can catch. So this candle, pretty much buyers are in control, right? Sellers tried, buyers tried harder, and sellers took it down a little bit. Buyers still way in control. And, this candle, sellers took it down, right? But buyers still didn't let them do that much damage, which shows you that buyers still have some strength in the market. So this wouldn't support puts until it, took a dip down. This candle completely in control by the buyers. The wicks are tiny, so that's a good signal for calls still. And this candle doji, this candle, sellers are, you get the point. But yeah, if you utilize this on an uptrend or downtrend, you can, kind of be like, okay, it's in an uptrend. Let's see this candle. Okay, sellers tried, but buyers brought them back up. So now I'm like, okay, I'm waiting to see if buyers continue to keep their control or if they lose it. And the next candle, they kept it. So you could have caught these two candles. This is on a 1 minute, so ideally you would want to watch a higher time frame. And once again on this one, if you see this candle, see that they tried super hard to push it up and they lost most of that momentum, but they still have momentum. And that may signal that sellers have wasted all their momentum on pushing it down, that the next candle can shoot up, which is exactly what happened, right? They tried to push it down even more, and buyers were just too strong, and they pushed it all the way up. And you could have caught that big move, just seeing that candle. Once again, don't just use candles. Use them to confirm your trades. Don't use them to just take your trades. In my strategy, I use key levels, so I would see a key level, see bullish candlesticks at that key level in an uptrend, and there's three things that signal to take a trade, and you can catch massive moves. So this, once again, what does this show? It shows buyers are trying, they lost. Buyers are trying, they lost. Buyers are trying, they lost. But all this shows is that sellers are equivalent to buyers. And in the whole uptrend, buyers have been in control. So this just shows you that now sellers are coming into the market. So there's potential for it to go down, right? Yet we're in an uptrend. So buyers are still in control of the overall market. So this is not valid enough to take puts. Ideally, you'd wait for these sellers to exit the market. And as you can see right here, we got a pretty much a mid-sized candle. It shows that it went down a little bit, came back up. I feel like I'm so repetitive, but knowing how to read candlesticks is super important in the market. And yeah, as you can see, it just continues to go up regardless of that. So you always want to take into account the trend and then these candlesticks. Now that honestly might be enough to be profitable. I don't know. I love using key levels to set my stop loss and take profit. But yeah, that pretty much concludes the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you can use this info to. I hope I taught you something on how to read candlesticks and how important it is to read candlesticks. And if you need more help, there's a Discord in the description. Join it. Yeah, thank you guys for watching.